What brings the daddy?
Real quickly, anybody willing to give Jared a rub down? Anybody?
I see a picture.
I see one dude in the back. Yeah, that's your guy. Let you know the winner of the Cliff lookalike contest right here. All right, I'm going to make this official.
Let's do that.
Minneapolis and the surrounding counties, I give you Jensen, Ackles, and Jared Padalecki.
Hi, guys. Hi.
How's it going, dude? Yeah. All right, you're feeling good.
So who has never, ever, ever in their long-legged life met a long-legged lady with a long... Have you ever, ever, ever in your long-legged life met a long-legged lady with a long-legged life? Don't. I don't know, what is that? Does somebody know what that is, or am I just making stuff up? You're just making stuff up. That was in German, anyways. I don't speak German. Oh, I didn't even know. I thought you were, I was just pretending. So, pseudo-German. Hi, guys. So, who has never, ever been to a Supernatural Convention? So let me tell you a bit. So Supernatural is a show about two brothers. Sam and Dean. Not Sam and Dean, because Sam and Dean is a bow-legged fish.
Fish don't have legs.
A bow-finned fish? So we are thrilled to have you guys here. And we love you back. And we're very, very truly grateful that we have been able to, I was going to say there aren't a lot of people on the planet, but I don't think there's anybody on the planet.
There are a lot of people on this planet.
I'm not sure who can say that they've been able to play pretend and bring somebody to life for 13 years, other than you and I. Maybe the Law and Order guys can say yes. I mean it, like, thank y'all guys. It's been fun. Yeah, so we wrapped season 12 in April, then we started in July. We finished 4 episodes this season, but I think it's occurred to me, like, thank y'all, because I like Sam Winchester. I dig him. I think he's kind of a nice dude, so thank you all for letting me bring him to life. Dean Jensen. He's right here. Oh, come on. Take it off. What?
What is happening right
No,
now?
my back hurts.
Is your back
My brain.
affecting your brain?
Yes. My back brain.
That would be back here.
I'm back. What happened? How long was I out?
It's amazing that we actually have lasted 13 years. It's frightening, actually. How many people here are Minnesota natives? Nice.
We're surrounded.
Yes, we are.
Let's run.
Why?
Because they're too cold to chase us.
What? Stop talking.
It snows here. It snows a lot. Their knees hurt.
It's August.
In Minnesota.
as you can see, we're on point today. How about we just take some questions before this goes further down the rabbit hole? Let's start this way.
Jeldness.
Eldness.
Hildness.
No, it's pronounced geldness.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
It helps if you know how to say your name.
Okay, so my question is,
Agree to disagree.
what is the weirdest or the funniest pronunciation of both of your last names that you've ever heard?
Ackles.
Yeah, probably Ackles. Yeah, Ackles. And I always say like, oh, that's funny. So I guess what they do in football is they takeless people. Yeah, there's takeless.
There's 13 takeless.
There's 13 takeless this season. That's just tackles.
Got it. I've had Padalecki. I've had a lot of just people who are unwilling to even try.
My favorite pronunciation of your, and I forget who it was. It was some sort of a.
Was it Jen? Was it Jen?
No, it wasn't your wife. Although I'm still not convinced she knows how to say it. It was like some news reporter or something, and it was a guy, and he just gave up. He was like, so Jared Padalecki, where? Just no, not even gonna try to finish it. I appreciated that.
But that having been said, I also had, so this wasn't a mispronunciation, but I had like Padalecki, Padalecki, Padawacker. Chad Michael Murray, who is a fellow actor, who I met 17 years ago on Gilmore Girls. Y'all weren't born yet. I saw a bunch of raised hands. I was always Padalecki.
I was born, never heard of it, but I was born then.
Don't watch it. You'll see what a real man Dean can be.
I'm not sure there were men on that show. Boys, yes.
The Billmore Boys. I was always Padawacker to Chad. I wonder how he is. I gotta text him. What was your nickname?
My first name?
No, what was your nickname? Like your last name?
I didn't really have a nickname for my last name at all.
Did no one? I guess no one even tried. You're like HJ. That's 2 consonants. I'm out of here.
All right, good talk. Fandom.
Hi. So there have been a lot of scenes throughout the years where you guys are consuming food.
Sea smoke.
Food consumption. So my question is there any food that you guys hate to eat because of it? Because we know that things aren't done in one take all the time.
Yes. There's a short list that I have that so anything that we touch on camera is considered a prop, even if it's food. So Robin, who is our on-set props, Robin, she will come up to us and say, hey, next week in the script it says that you're eating pizza. What do you want? And we'll give an order. But if it's specific as to what we're supposed to be eating in the script, then she'll come and say, how do you want to do this? And so there's a few things that she knows that I just don't like. Pickles. I don't like pickles. So for like hamburgers and stuff, when we're eating hamburgers or even hot dogs and relish stuff, like get it away from me. If there's even a pickle on the hamburger that has then been removed and the bun put back up, don't play that with me. I can taste it. I know there was a pickle here. I'm also not a big condiments guy. I don't use mayo or mustard or any of that.
Did I just hear I love mayo?
And like oil and eggs to spice up your appetite. So so there's a few things that she knows that I just, I don't like, and then she kind of works around within those parameters, I guess. You just don't eat as much as I'm always eating. Oh, we did do something kind of tricky recently. There was the hot dog scene. So there's a scene this last episode where last week someone walks in, got a tray full of hot dogs, and Dean immediately grabs one and starts.
And we're in our FBI sets.
Yeah. So just grab one and start eating, and then speaking as well, and eating more and speaking so I didn't mind eating the hot dogs and the bun and stuff. And they were like, well, we gotta put some like toppings on the hot dog. And he'd just be like, I'm like, yeah, so once you put some ketchup on there, no mustard, and then maybe we could do onions. But I don't want to sit there and eat just like tons of onions. So I got this idea, and they took radishes and chopped them up into little, what looked like onions. And then sprinkled those on the hot dog. So I ate ketchup and radishes on my hot dog. And it was delightful. However, Jared's favorite part about the scene was I took a big bite and a lump of food just hung there on my lip. And I'm talking and I know it's there. I leave it on there for a few words and then just casually go,
Yeah. Good story. So, where are we going from here?
and I kept talking.
Our guest star, co-star, needless to say, busted out laughing. The take was ruined, so hopefully you all see on the gag reel. It's pretty damn funny.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much. Enforcement agency. We love Sam and the DEA. We just really love the drug enforcement agency here in Minneapolis. We feel their pain. And Sam too.
They wanted to put ATF on there as well, but I guess there wasn't. It would have been too long.
Give them seats.
Yeah, that's cool.
Who put that up? Who did? Thank you. I too love
The DEA. Yeah,
They do good work.
they do good work. Yeah.
And I love you back. So thank you for your questions.
Thanks.
It's miserable.
Yeah, are you kidding me? I was gonna say the birth of my twins last year was one of the was one of the most stressful days of my life. Mainly, hey.
It's okay.
Here's the difference. My wife's way cooler than me. She was calm as a cucumber. Meanwhile, I was, and on a lot of drugs. I, however, was in a different country the day they were born, but was there when they were pulled out. That's how stressful that was. And he's like, okay, man, we're leaving in an hour. Are you ready to go? I'm like, yeah. I mean, I think if Richard can shoot fast enough, we can get out of here. And he's like, okay, man, you got everything you need, you get your passport. I'm like, of course I have my passport. Why wouldn't I have my passport? We're going back to America. Of course, I don't know that I haven't touched my passport
And
yet.
I go, hey, go back to your trailer, touch your passport.
Got it, okay.
He's like, touch my
I'm like,
passport.
why would you say that? It's always in the same place. Right, I know exactly where I go back. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, we're on set in Vancouver, and the twins were a C-section because she didn't want to turn over. She's stubborn like her mother, and so it was scheduled, but we were flying in like that night, and I then realized that I had left my passport in Austin. Not just back home in my apartment or back at downtown.
I knew it!
So just ghost white. Like, I'm not gonna be there for the birth of my children. That's really gonna bum me out.
He walks on the set and he's like ashen faced and he goes, I don't know how you knew. And it was very sort of like, I didn't want to ask how I knew what. Like, I could just see, he's like, I don't know how you knew. I was like, man, I don't know either. What are you talking about? My passport's in Austin. We're in Vancouver shooting with Spade. The episode with Ramiel. The part of the episode outside the house where Sam gets tackled over the balcony. So I don't remember the episode what it was called, but it was like with the cool pulp.
Yeah, it was the big showdown with Ramiel.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs, like homages and whatnot. So we're shooting the episode outside of the house where our buddy gets killed and Sam gets tackled over the railing. And anyways, he walks on set and he's like, I don't know how you knew. He's like, I don't know. Long story short, being able to get a hold of like customs or something.
So yeah, we basically talked our way through it. They kind of just said, we'll figure it out when you get here, which they were totally cool. What's that? Did I have to pay any money?
Who do you work for?
Are you with the DEA?
We love you.
Yeah, we love you guys. And Sam. What? I don't understand what you're saying. I can't hear. So anyway, long story short, landed, scheduled to be at the hospital in like 30 minutes. I landed. We have a friend of ours in Austin who works at the police department. He was there, picked me up, lit up the car, and drove me straight through about like 7 stoplights. And like got me there just as they were like walking her in. So it was like, I maybe had 5 minutes to spare. Starting from like 5 hours ago when my travel started. So you know what? Yeah, I would like to relive that day again because I would do it all over differently. Because the end result was fantastic, but getting there, I would have done a lot of things different.
I think, so this day hasn't yet happened, but I know that, so with both the kids and whatnot, they were pretty stressful for me. My wife's a badass, as is his wife. I don't know the date yet, but the last day of filming of Supernatural will be a day that I wish I would go. It's gonna happen. And
I hope you really like the movie Weekend at Bernie's, because that's...
Or Groundhog Day. No, but I mean, like, it's gonna be, I hope we're all, I'm sure they will, I hope we're all filming. I hope it's us and Collins and whomever else. But it's gonna go so fast. And I know that I'm gonna wake up the next day when Supernatural is dead and gone and be like, holy crap. It's gonna be really sad. Stop it! And I'll want to do it again. But hopefully that's in many years from now. So keep us coming back. because I was going to say the first time we got into a fight against other people. So, yeah, when you see something tested, and I'll say this to people in relationships sometimes, you know, someone's fighting with their girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife. Like, you know what? These are the moments where you figure out if it's worth it or not. Because you're gonna have struggles. You're gonna have times that suck. Is it worth it to carry on? Do you want to carry on? I remember the fight we got in. And I also remember the time we got
Not a physical fight. We got into a very heated argument, and it was in front of the crew, and it ended with us kind of walking our separate ways, and then it was the aftermath that really defined it, which was I forget if I walked into your trailer or you walked into mine, but
you walked into the workout trailer.
Right, and I sat down and basically said, "Look, that can't happen ever again." And we just kind of right then were like, solidarity. And it's been 12 years since then.
And he and I, during the filming of Hookman, which got filmed as, it was pilot Wendigo Hookman, though it aired 7th. When Hookman filmed, some of our producers were up in Vancouver to visit, and we got jumped. Myself, Jensen, and look, Jordan. Is Jordan here? Jordan? Yeah, he might come. He lives here now. He lives in Minneapolis. He's from here. But the three of us got jumped by like 7 or 8 guys. And I remember we're doing well for ourselves, and somebody kind of like tackled me, and I remember.
Keep in mind, we just came off of like 6 weeks of boxing training too. And these guys were drunk, and we had just come from work, and so we were just like...
And we're not small guys. It's like, clink, see ya. Clink, see ya. They're like, I thought they were actors. Not... So, and then somebody came to tackle me, and I feel this, like, on my shirt, and I'm like, crap, somebody got to punch me in the face. And I get up, and it's Ackles. And he's like, let's go. Like, he had kind of come back to... The fight, we kind of went all our different ways, and then he came back to make sure his boy was all right. And I was like, cool.
Awesome today. She's out in the audience, but...
Where's Dog? Hi, how are you?
It's Jocelyn.
Jocelyn?
My question for you is, being that she's going into 10th grade and her goal in life is to be an actor, what advice would you give her going into high school?
Quit now. Just kidding. What do you think?
Advice going into high school, she wants to be an actor or actress, right? I mean, get into drama class, you know, test it out, see if it's something you want to do. You never know unless you try. So that's what I would say. I took drama class in high school because you had to take an art elective, and I wasn't going to sing, and I couldn't draw, and I wasn't going to. I don't know what other ones there are. I was like, oh well, I could probably memorize lines and make an idiot of myself. So that's probably something I could do, get a good decent grade. And it was something that just kind of clicked. So I'd say start there, see how you feel. Try not precise.
Yeah, and my advice is similar. Go work. My advice for life in general, and I should preface this by saying I'm only 35. I have a lot of life to live, though I do feel old and have gray hair. You're supposed to say, no, you don't have gray hair, not it suits you. Yes, go into drama, and when it sucks, and it's gonna suck, there are gonna be times when you don't want to memorize lines. There are gonna be times when you don't want to work with your acting partner. There are gonna be times when no one's in the audience and no one's laughing when they're supposed to, and you're not able to cry when you think you're supposed to cry. If all that crap happens and you're still like, but man, I love telling a story. I love exploring somebody else's motivations, somebody else's passions, somebody else's loves and pains and tragedies and successes. Then it's almost the same question we had earlier about like relationships. Like if you get to a point where it sucks and you're like, man, it'd be so easy to walk away right now, and your instinct is to walk away, then walk away and feel good. But if something in you is like, you know what, this sucks right now, because it's gonna suck. And he and I have been successful actors for like 18 years and 72 years or whatever successfully acting for. It sucks sometimes. It sucks. It sucks. My oldest kid, Tom, my 5-year-old, he started school on Tuesday. And I wasn't there. I wasn't there on Monday, I wasn't there on Tuesday, I wasn't there on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or Saturday or today. And I won't be there till Saturday in 6 days from now. It sucked. I got home at like 11:30, my mind was racing, and I set my alarm clock for 4:30, which is 6:30 Texas time, because they had to leave the house at 7 o'clock Texas time to go to school. And I FaceTimed him, because I was like, my son is going to kindergarten. I remember my first day at kindergarten. I was like, I'm going to talk to my son. I'm not going to be this dad. He was like, oh, I had a late day. And so I FaceTimed him his first day of school. It sucked. It sucked. And I went back to sleep, and my alarm went back off to go to work, and I was like, cool, I still love what I'm doing. It's still making a difference. I still love doing what I'm doing, and Tom will understand. Someday, eventually, he'll go like, oh, cool, I know why Dad wasn't here. He was doing this. He was making a difference. He was doing what he's passionate about. He was working hard. So when it sucks, if you choose to carry on, then you know you're supposed to carry on.
Yes, so just a recap, if you want to be an actor, make sure you have FaceTime for your son.
Because it's going to suck. At least somebody loves me and the DEA.
Now the DEA looks sad.
So it's no longer the Department of Drug Enforcement Agency. Now it's the District Attorney. It's we look safety DEA. And the District Attorney.
I was, you said death. I was, Alistair comes to mind. And, currently, Lucifer. Those are some of my favorites.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi. So my question is kind of based on how you accept rejection. So I started watching your show.
Wow, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Well, okay, here's a compliment for you. I started watching the show because of your Always Keep Fighting campaign. And so that brought me in.
Our always keep fighting.
Sorry. And so I'm a perfectionist. I struggle with every little mistake. It's that end all be all. I'm terrible at my job. I'm going to get fired, yada, yada. So how do you learn to accept rejections or mistakes, not on a personal level, but on like that bump to get you up that level?
The bump to get you. I'm trying to.
Professional level, sorry. So you make a mistake. How do you use that mistake to learn to not make that mistake again?
Why do you keep saying mistake?
Because I'm that perfectionist.
Stop it.
Maybe it's not a mistake.
Cut that. I personally am not a psychiatrist or psychologist or therapist. I'm just passing, if I were to say, as a fellow human being who's not versed clinically in this kind of situation, I would say stop using that word You didn't make a mistake, you made a decision. And secondly, try as hard as you can and don't lay off. If you're feeling so, and he and I have funny talks, because I'm a weird kind of like OCD guy myself. And he knows, he's teasing, but he knows. Like, I'll feel like I had a big dinner and I'll be like, I look fat. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, chill out. Like, don't let perfect be the enemy of great. But stop it, see it. The best thing that I learned to do in therapy, and that I'm still learning on a daily basis, because I'm working on a daily basis, is to look at something for what it is. And to not go like, oh, I did this, and I parked too close to the car, and they banged my car, and now it's going to cost me $1,000 to fix it because they drove off. I said this and I hurt somebody. I blah, blah, whatever this decision is, it's a mistake. You didn't make it a mistake. You made a choice. That choice went this way or that you didn't necessarily have any control over. So try to just see it for what it is. You made this choice. If you regret it, then make different choices in the future. But don't try to relitigate the past. And just live your life. Try to be happy. And
you're not making mistakes. You're not losing. You're either winning or you're learning.
Secondly, and furthermore, if you never win again and you learn the rest of your life, you're awesome. You're awesome. And you deserve to be awesome and happy. And to hell with anybody who tells you otherwise. So be awesome. Be happy. Because you're the shit. Don't forget. 40 pages? You gave me big fun.
Double space.
Double space. As a matter of fact, when the cheese grater in your hand.
For those of you who like to count things, just start counting how many times he hits me throughout the... And for those of you who like to do what I do, is take a shot every time something like that happens.
So,
hashtag drinking games.
Every time Jared hits Jensen, he's taking a shot. So when the...
That's all right, it is the last question. I believe it is the last question. Yeah, look, tell me. It's the last question. It's the last question. Here we go. It's the last question. It's the last question. It's the very last question. It's the last question. That's all she wrote. Shoot it up,
This is Samaya. Well, have a seat. You are our last question, so as is our note, we will bring you on stage and make you ask for everybody. So what is your question? Do not mess it up.
Thanks for the...
You're welcome. Thanks.
I was just wondering, what helped you get through hard times? Did both of you get through hard times in life, like challenges or like times when you thought that like it was just like a really huge roadblock that like you couldn't get past? Like what helped you push through?
Sure. What do you think? Great question.
I lean on the ones around me that know me and that I trust and that I love. Family, friends, co-workers. And if that doesn't work, then I go to a gun range. I'm just kidding. I don't go to the range. I just go in my I try to be very practical about what my expectations are, where I'm going, where I want to go, where I want to be, what it's going to take to get there. And if I need to, I'll make a list and try to check those lists off day by day. Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I guess if I have to boil down to 6 words, which I can, because I've learned this and tried to remind myself, there's something I try to live by, which is pain is mandatory. Suffering is optional. Everybody here has gone through pain, yeah? Fighting it is your choice. And if you fight it and make yourself suffer, you have the power to not suffer. Pain happens. Pain is mandatory. Everybody goes through pain, but you don't have to suffer. So deal with your pain and be the badass rock star you are, and get through it and be here in front of your SBN family.
Let's give them a round of